From here, the change in sea level seems quite small, but there's floods in San Francisco. They're rebuilding their seawalls. When I think about my nephews, I get totally depressed. What kind of planet are we leaving them? I feel so powerless. Hey, over here. You are right, the rising seas are a very real threat. But there's no need to build a boat or move to Mars just yet. Human beings play a role in global warming, and there are things we can do to help slow the rising seas. I'm Sil.
I'm Lou.
Nice to meet you. Honestly, climate change feels kind of like a mystery. Can you explain it to a non-scientist like me?
Sure. Here's what we know.
Burning fossil fuels like oil and gas and coal leads to rising temperatures that melt the ice and snow. Places like Greenland and Antarctica are melting, therefore an increase of waters flowing into our seas. So coastal towns start flooding, plus there's hurricanes that get revved up in warmer waters.
So it rains for days.
Yes, and there's also thermal expansion. As the water gets warmer, it expands. So millions of people are having to evacuate their homes. We're not immune to flooding here.
How long until we have to go?
It's hard to say, but sea level rise and erosion could impact up to 500,000 people in California alone by 2100.
Wow, this is grim.
Maybe. A lot of this depends on how we choose to live and the systems we invest in over the next decade.
I'm not hopeful.
Some good news is that many of the solutions are actually right here in the ocean. Could we dive in, take a swim, get some data for your archive? Yes.
Scientists say we need to aim for net zero carbon emissions by 2050.
But how?
One way to help is restoring ocean ecosystems. Did you know wetlands eat up about 5 times more carbon than a tropical forest?
Restore wetlands, less carbon dioxide.
And did you know we can generate a ton of clean energy with offshore wind farms too? We also need to vote for people who will prioritize cutting back on greenhouse gas emissions and fossil fuels.
Marching demonstrations through. We must take collective action to keep skies and oceans blue.
Oh man, this is too much.
Oh gosh, I knew I shouldn't have taken you diving.
No, not the diving, the rising sea levels.
Panicking is valid, but there's actions you can take to help slow the rising seas. Spread the word, stay awake. We have the data and statistics. We all know what to do. Pick a lane, take an action. What will you choose to do? Habits and beliefs can make it challenging to rethink how we live, what we drive, and how we eat. But this is what we're facing. Here are the options I can see. Adapt and pitch in, or ignore the rising seas. We can all pitch in, cut back on CO2, be accountable and prepare. What will you choose to do?